Tomorrow, Wednesday, October 8th, victims and survivors of Jeffrey Epstein will once again be going to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. to hold another press conference along with Republican Representatives Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Democratic Representative Ro Khanna. And during this press meeting, press briefing, whatever you want to call it, these women are once again going to be calling for the release of the Epstein files. Not a couple pieces here and there, not little trinkets. They want the full release, as do most Americans. And they're going to be calling out the Republican holdouts who are not only voting against, the discharge petition, which would force the full vote. They're also, led by Mike Johnson, refusing to swear in recently elected Democratic Representative Adelita Grijalva so that they have the votes to clear the discharge petition. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson openly refused to swear in Grijalva before the, recess that coincided with the government shutdown, so that the Democrats and Massie, Greene, Boebert, and Mace did not have the votes to clear the discharge petition to force a full vote to release the files. So this is intentional. This is 100% a cover-up. These women know it, and they're sick of it. These are women, by the way, who have been denied justice for the abuse that they suffered at the hands of the most powerful men on the planet for decades. No justice. And we finally get to a point where we might get justice. We might get these men exposed. We might not be able to hold them accountable legally, because of statutes of limitations and all of that. But exposure. They may not ever go to court, but in the court of public opinion, we can take down these predators and perverts. And that is what we are after. It doesn't matter what political party they're a member of. If they're a Democrat, take them down. If they're a Republican, take them down. And that is something that everybody across the board should be able to agree on. But we have heard repeatedly from Republicans, it's nothing but Democrats in the files. And then Republicans are the ones who turn around and refuse to release them. Why are Republicans protecting Democrats, right? If what they're saying is true, that it's nothing but Democrats, why aren't they releasing them to make Democrats look bad, right? So we know right off the top that that's definitely not the case. Obviously, you're going to have Republican donors in there. You're going to have Republican politicians in there, and Democrats, of course, like I've said. But they want to protect their own. So that's why they're preventing this. That's why Donald Trump is preventing the release of it. But these victims deserve justice. Nobody is more important than these victims. Nobody. They have been denied for far too long. And they're the ones who deserve every second of this. Every second of the files coming out and watching these men being taken down, of course. But they've also threatened, if you guys don't release the names, we will. So they do have a plan B. They're just hoping it doesn't come to that. But we'll see. Also, to make things worse for the Trump administration regarding the Epstein scandal, that little statue of Trump and Epstein holding hands that says best friends forever reappeared in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. And of course, this is kind of funny, Jim Acosta went out there and he was talking to people who were looking at it, which included some Trump supporters. So here's what two Trump supporters said to Acosta. One of them said, Acosta asked, should we release the files? One of them says, yes, I think they should. I want to know everything that's going on there. So Jim Acosta says, and are you guys Trump supporters, not Trump supporters, middle of the road? And one of them goes, Trump supporters, except he does some crazy stuff sometimes, but we love Trump. So Acosta goes, okay, you love Trump, and why do you think he doesn't want to release the files? First Trump supporter says, I don't know. It's very sketchy. Why isn't he? And the other one said, why isn't he? I don't know. It's like these Trump supporters never once thought that. Like Acosta, for the first time, put it in their heads like, well, wait a minute. Why is he not releasing him? And then a light bulb went off. They were like, wait a minute. Why isn't he releasing him? Sometimes all it takes is a simple question. Sometimes all it takes is forcing these people to think for half a second to open their eyes, because they don't think on their own. They don't question things on their own. They just go about in this blissful ignorance, thinking Trump knows all, Trump is always right, I should listen to Trump, I should obey. But then when somebody comes along and is like, hey, by the way, let me burst your bubble for a second, and they're like, what? I love it. But either way, people are demanding answers. MAGA's demanding answers. Democrats are demanding answers. The victims deserve answers. And it's very clear and obvious that Donald Trump is orchestrating one of the biggest cover-ups that we have ever seen. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.